Here it is in my book. And they're Biles. Buffy and Giles.
Are you just shipping Buffy and Giles?
No.
Because people call it Bangel if you want Buffy and Angel to be together. They call
Or
it Spuffy.
Spuffy.
So you just invented Biles.
No, I don't.
Simone Biles.
No, I don't. I definitely don't want Buffy and Giles together. I really, really don't.
Welcome to the Hellmouth. I hope everybody's doing 5x5. This is Major Slayage, Ket Arik, Rewatch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm Eric. To my right, your left, my enchanting, beautiful, amazing, hilarious, talented wife and co-host. You know her as half of the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket. Stay alive, maybe. Give it up for Ketryn Porter.
Hey, double back ditto to all those compliments. You are also my beautiful, talented wife that I love so much.
Well, that works out for me.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1, episode 5. Never kill a boy on the first date.
Well,
what?
I just don't think never. I'm sure I can think of like 10 scenarios right now where it is totally appropriate to kill a boy on the first date.
I guess it depends on how the date is going.
Yeah,
really, and who the boy is.
Yeah, don't never say never is all I'm saying.
Don't box you in. For as weird as this is going to sound, I feel like this might be the first one. That's not true. I didn't love The Harvest, but that was kind of the back half of the pilot.
That's the pilot part 2 for me.
And so I think when you pair it up there, the average comes out to a pretty good episode. This is the first one for me that I maybe wasn't in love with. Yeah. I thought the praying mantis, the many loves of Dr. Mantis Toboggan was a fun episode. Mm-hmm. I thought the witch was pretty
witch
fun.
Switchation
was fun. This one was this was the first one to me that felt like a filler episode.
It was mid, as the kids say.
As the kids would say, the children would say it's mid, and then the generation before them would have called it meh.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to go through, we're going to have our fun with it anyway. Next week, episode 6 of the first season, The Pack, we have a very special announcement. We have a very special guest joining us for that episode. Kim Burns,
my wife
of Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe her co-host on our other show, is going to be joining us right here. I don't know where we're going to fit her. Maybe she'll be in the cauldron. She'll be in your lap, maybe.
She's very small.
She will be joining us for all of our shenanigans. We have another special guest in here with us tonight right now. In addition to Ethel, who's always here, we have our cousin's dog, Tansy, joining us. We're house sitting. So we've got an audience of 2 who don't seem super interested in anything we're doing. But,
but they're not protesting.
No, they're not being a nuisance, certainly. So, before we kick things off, I just wanted to take a second to shout out another Buffy show that we've become friends with on social media. It's a show that I think everyone should check out. Now, don't trade us for them.
Yeah, do both.
We are still your show, but then if you are enjoying your Buffy content, they're also doing a watch along of all the episodes, going one at a time. They're in season 2 right now. They're near the end of season 2 already, so they got a little bit of a head start. But the show's called All Bronze, No Brains. Bronze, Bronze, a recent rebrand. They used to be called Up the Buff,
which has a very different meaning in the UK.
Yeah, they're from Northern Ireland.
Squeakies, quit it.
I don't know that people can hear that,
but I can hear it. I can.
My
hear
chair
the
isn't hearing.
No, stop.
So we got to WD-40 these chairs, but I'll try and hold still. That's not really my forte.
I know. Goddamn.
Kind of a hyper.
But it was just like I was about to like Kool-Aid man through the wall. So
Kool-Aid mouth through the wall.
Kool-Aid mouth through the wall. So keep it together.
All right, I'm gonna see what I can do here. I'll try and be still. Anyway, All Bronze, No Brains. They're hilarious. They're very nice guys. Tony and Dave, we met them on social media and we've been corresponding with them. And I think when we go to our other house in Wales in June, we're going to try and meet up with at least Tony while we're there. So we'll post pictures of that meeting of the minds if we're able to make that happen. But go check them out. They're on YouTube. They're on Spotify. I love their show. They come out on Saturdays. So I just wanted to point you in their direction because we think they're really great lads and they do a really fun show. What are you pointing at?
In their direction.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that even the direction? I think.
Yeah. No, I felt it.
They're They're northeast of here. I think they would be that direction. But
Moving on.
in any case, just love those guys and wanted to put them on your radar. This is ordinarily where we would do marital grievances.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't bring anything for this segment today. Do you have anything that you would like to aggrieve me about?
I didn't, but I do now. That squeaky fucking chair.
All right. I will do what I can to try and be still.
Thank you.
I'm all hopped up on energy drinks,
I know,
so
goddamn.
no promises. So, all right. Well, I guess it's time for our spell. Ketryn's
Mm-hmm.
going to do a spell. What'd you bring for us this time?
Little intention for us to
I'll be your lovely
solidify.
assistant.
Like the scales of Libra, may we all find a work-life balance,
I
which
love
is
that.
what Buffy is aiming for in this episode.
Yeah, she's starting to struggle with civilian life versus superhero life.
Yeah. Can you hold my microphone?
Oh, yeah. I was going to hold the lid to the thing. So there, you can have that. I'll take this. Try not to move. Work-life balance.
I love lighting things on fire. Woo!
That's a big one. Holy shit.
That was a good one.
That's very cool.
Hey. I'm not a pyromaniac.
You absolutely are
Nah.
a pyromaniac.
But don't they have to like set buildings and shit on
No, that's
fire?
an arsonist.
Oh. Pyromaniac.
Pyromaniac is someone who loves fire. An arsonist is when that hobby becomes a crime.
Oh, I haven't
So
gotten there yet.
You're not a criminal. You're just a weirdo.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for the episode? Let's do
do
this. Okay. So we open on action. Action, baby. We're in a cemetery bopping vamps. And
I love that.
what?
When we're bopping vamps.
Yeah. Bopping vamps.
I feel like this is the second episode in a row where we are just joining
We're in it.
mid-fracas. Now, the last one was a dream,
Fair.
but this one
This
does
one's
not
real
appear
life.
to be a dream.
Yeah. And
Also, no prologue.
he's obsessed with the fact that there's no prologue.
Well, I thought it was dumb that they had the prologue to begin with. So
That's why they got rid of it. Now he's complaining about
I'm
that.
not complaining. I'm just noting it. We're here to observe and report.
Mhm.
I'm reporting no prologue.
So was Giles. He was there to observe and report in the cemetery, and he did not have a good report. He felt that her technique was poor and it was a little too bloody for his taste, because Rupert was there, not Ripper.
Well, those who can do, those who can't watch.
There we go. I've trained him well. So she dusts a vamp. Eric found a plot hole because what happens is she dusts the vamp and what is left behind is a ring.
Here's my question. If you dust a vamp, they dust
Their clothes
all of their
dust.
clothes. We don't ever see a pile of clothes. It's not like Obi-Wan Kenobi
Right.
with a pile, Darth Vader stepping on it to make sure he's not in there somewhere.
Right.
You dust them. Everything they're wearing also dusts.
Yeah.
How could a vamp leave a ring behind? Also, they just find a ring on the ground in a dark cemetery. How do they know it came from that vamp? It's not like she clocked it on him while they were fighting. I'll get to.
That's why I'm raising my hand. I'm just
Ma'am,
raising my hand.
Let's consider you seen,
Okay.
and I will call on you as soon as I finish my sentence.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, if she had seen the ring on him while he was fighting, then we would know, oh, that's definitely his. That could just be some weird goth kid's ring, but they somehow instantly know that fell off the vamp. You with the pigtails.
Yes. So here's the thing is we do find out that it is a magical symbolic ring. So maybe it has like powers on it where it's like, ooh, you ain't dusting me, bitch. And it like sticks around, like that's part of its magic. And also you could know that it came off his finger because there's probably like dust left behind and there's going to be like dust in and around the ring.
Well, we didn't see that. So if that
Giles
was their
did.
intention,
Giles did.
I really can't see very well, so I guess maybe I'm not the best judge.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It seemed weird.
But Giles is going to consult his books about it. And here's the thing. Let's say they brought a fucking Claire's mood ring home. They won't find it in the books and they'll move on. But maybe it is something important, which
I would have preferred that. Hey, is this significant? Not sure. Let's check it out versus I know this is important.
Okay. Well,
Anyway.
Kool-Aid Mouth. You want to go see him?
Not really.
Okay. Well, he's in his books and he's trying to what Kool-Aid Mouth is in his books.
He's got the biggest book I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's a big old dusty tome. I love a dusty tome.
Yes, you do.
And he's like, listen, from 5, the anointed one will rise from the ashes of 5 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's ponderous.
Mhm.
This guy's giving Giles a run for his money for long-winded nonsense.
And he's got some dumbos there that are just like listening to the TED Talk. And, they're minions. They're minioning.
Everything's going over their heads. These guys aren't tracking a word of this.
They're like, just tell me what I need to do, boss. And he sends his minions
so
out.
he's pissed that one of them went to find the Slayer because he's like, here's the plan.
Yeah.
This is supposed to happen, and the anointed one who's going to be my warrior is en route, and we got to do this thing. And out of 5, he shall rise.
And so instead, this motherfucker went to the cemetery and got dusted,
got slayed,
because he couldn't keep it in his pants for just a little bit longer. So here endeth the lesson.
Right.
And
he grabs another one just to show what a
strongman he is.
He's scarier in this than he was in the first 2 episodes.
More menacing.
Yeah, there's a little something going on with him.
Yeah,
but he's also my thought was he's trapped in his bubble. He's a bubble boy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why none of the other vamps go like, how about I take this dude out and then I can own all the candles.
I think they just know they're dumb.
Yeah.
I think they just know that they don't fit the job description.
And I guess maybe if you are dumb enough to join a cult,
yeah,
you are not someone who fancies yourself capable of running a cult.
And also, like, the master apparently is a blajillion years old, whereas like these vamps are brand new. Yeah. So it's like they haven't been around the planet.
It just seems like he can't run away from you. He can't leave his bubble.
He's got a cult of personality.
Grab 20 of your best friends and take this dude out. But
yeah,
I guess that's why he's the leader. He knows how to pick them.
Yeah. So library. Let's go.
Library.
The ring is in fact a ring of Aurelius or some shit. It's
the Order of
Aurelius, and it's got a sun and 3 stars. And Giles is like, oh damn, here it is in my book. And they're Biles. Buffy and Giles.
Are you just shipping Buffy and Giles?
No,
because people call it Bangel if you want Buffy and Angel to be together. They call it Spuffy.
Spuffy.
So you just invented Biles.
No, I don't.
Simone Biles.
No, I don't. I definitely don't want Buffy and Giles together. I really, really don't. Apologies all around. So they're talking vamps, and then a student comes in for a book from the library where Giles is a librarian, and Giles is like, basically is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, this happens so rarely. He doesn't even remember how to keep the ruse up.
Yeah. And it's Owen, and he loves some Emily Dickinson, and Buffy loves his Emily Dickinson.
Hello.
Dick, because his dick is in the name.
Yeah, I know. I
and he has a dick.
Ostensibly.
Yeah, but she thinks he does.
It's a reasonable conclusion.
Yeah, and she likes it. His dick.
I mean, maybe.
Got it?
She imagines she will.
Right.
The dick in her mind is appealing to her. We don't know that it's not all mangled up from getting caught in a bike chain when he was a kid or something.
Sure.
Like, he could have a whole mess down there.
He could have a whole mangled mess. Anyway, Giles is not happy that Buffy is smitten, and he's not happy that the poet that he's checking out, that Owen is checking out, is an American poet.
Yeah, a little British snobbery.
And let's be real, I'm American and I have British snobbery. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, you're an Anglophile through and through.
I really am.
Which is part of the reason we visited that part of the world and ended up buying a house in Wales.
Yeah,
is all driven by you.
Yeah. Because I think I believe in past lives, and the moments when I do, I definitely was like not here. I was like for sure in the UK in past lives, you can even see it. Like you're
a much better driver in the UK than you are in America.
Yep,
that's facts.
Yep, I don't know. All right, let's go to the cafeteria. It's lunchtime. Okay.
Yes.
And Buffy's got a dish with Willow about this cute new boy that she set her sights on. And he's significantly less brooding. He's blonde. No, he hasn't given her a jacket, but he does read Emily Dickinson.
And he's big. She likes her big boys. Like,
he's a big old boy. Yeah. He's a big old boy.
Bigger than Angel.
Yeah.
And Buffy's, 5 foot nothing, 73 pounds.
Yeah.
She likes to be tossed around, I imagine.
Yeah. Sorry. Here, okay. Last episode, I made a point, or some episode, I don't fucking know. I made a point to say that like we need to give Xander we need to give Xander credit where his credit is due. Like we can't just shit upon him. We have to acknowledge the times when he's like not a creep, and he really does earn the reputation of being like the heart of the Scoobies that he sort of grows into as the show goes on.
Yeah, there's
but this
no
episode,
rule that says we can't do that, but I think for variety's sake, we should at least try and be fair-handed when dealing with him.
But this episode, Xander was like, no, I'm a creep. I'm going to creep it up. I'm going to be the creepiest creep. Don't forget I'm a creep. I'm a creep.
And I think it's weird because Xander's shenanigans, I think he's very funny. Nicholas Brennan's a very funny actor.
Yes.
When Xander has a zing, he knows how to deliver. He's got great comedic timing.
Yeah.
I feel like if some of these creep moments were played for, if we got the sense that Xander was trying to be funny, I think it would all play a lot better.
But we get the sense that he's being insecure.
But he's an insecure incel, and he's being genuine.
Right.
And it's...
God, all I can say is like
in
moments like this, I'm like, he is so fucking lucky that he had Willow all his life and that now he has Buffy. Like, I really think that's going to pull him out. I really feel like that's what pulled him out of the incel quicksand.
Right.
Was sort of like being forced to live in this little...
I'm going to go ahead and say it had to do with losing Jesse. And not that I blame Jesse. I don't think Jesse was necessarily a bad guy. But if it had just been the two of them running around like Beavis and Butthead, psyching each other up about what women owe them and how unfair life is, that they're nice guys and they can't date.
Yeah.
I think he would have been way worse off. But instead, he had to dust his only guy friend.
Yeah.
And so now his two biggest influences, and as you've pointed out before, one is stronger than him, one is smarter than him. He's going to build character even if he has to do it kicking and screaming.
You know what's so interesting? I just thought of this, and I promise I won't go on tangents about life lessons that I teach my kids that I mentor, but this is so interesting that we're talking about this right this second, because one of the things that I was trying to get my kids to understand is that there are a lot of things that can be considered strengths. Everyone has strengths and everyone has things that they're good at. Like Eric is really good at like moving his chair so that it squeaks a lot, right? But like there are certain qualities that are more celebrated than others. So I wanted them to be careful to not sort of like overvalue somebody else's strengths just because you see them and they're sort of out front,
more
right?
High profile.
Yeah. Much like Buffy's strength is very high profile and Willow's intelligence is very high profile. I think it's important for Xander to be like, okay, I don't bring that and I don't bring that. What do I bring? And I do think that he gets there in moments. And it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But like he is sort of searching for what's the thing I bring to the table. And I appreciate that, as opposed to trying to be stronger or be smarter.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, I think unfortunately he falls into the trap of judging himself because he's not strong enough. That's his first go-to, is if he doesn't feel manly enough, if he doesn't feel strong enough, traditional masculine attributes, that's when he gets really insecure. That's when he gets really angry and kind of bitchy.
Yeah.
But like I said, these two are the bumpers in the bowling alley gutters of his life. They're going to keep his ball from going in the gutter. They're going to keep him moving towards the pins.
Yeah.
And I love that metaphor.
Yeah. It's great. Okay. Let's blast through some plot points here so we can know what's happening. So Owen goes and sits by himself to read Emily Dickinson. And Buffy's like, who should go sit with him? It's me. But who has the same idea?
My angel.
Not Angel. That's Angel. Confusing.
Cordelia.
And she hip checks Buffy. And seeing Cordelia get her ass handed to her in like her arena of duding, boying, is fun to watch. It's fun to watch. So basically she's like, I'm going to be at the Bronze tonight, Owen, and obviously I'm the main attraction. And he's like, actually, you're not. Buffy is the one giving me boner
Who else
eyes.
is going to be there?
Yeah.
She's like, besides me?
And he's like, yeah. Buffy, are you going to be there? So Buffy's like, great, I have a date. fantastic. Giles does not think that it's great
because he's done some calculations.
Yeah.
And he's decided that this
he thinks the Order of Aurelius is coming tonight, and she's like, I have a date, bro. And he's like, you're the Slayer.
and we've picked up from both Kool-Aid Mouth speechifying and Giles's that they're connected. The thing that the Kool-Aid Mouth wants to have happen
is the thing that Giles
is trying to prevent. So
yeah.
we've got our kind of A story and B story on a collision course, and it's tight. It's satisfying in a way, but this whole episode just left me kind of feeling like, huh.
Yeah. Especially because literally the next scene is Buffy and Giles going, huh.
Yeah, because
nothing happens.
She has to cancel her date. They go sit in the cemetery. Nothing's happening. Giles decides, well, maybe my calculations weren't correct, and he cuts her loose.
Because basically the prophecy says, because we need to know this for later, 5 shall die, and from their ashes the anointed shall rise. So we're trying to like not have the anointed one rise, right? And so we're like, where are these 5? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. So Giles is like, I guess I miscalculated. My bad. So don't worry, we're gonna go to the Bronze, but first we have to go to this random bus driving down the street. Which is not going to the Bronze, but there's
we don't know where it was going.
That's true. I guess we don't know.
Taking that little kid to the Bronze.
Yeah, who knows?
They let everybody in there.
So there's a bus with people on it, but then there's some fucking guy that's just like, Jesus, 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 hell, hell, hell,
and he's
judge, judge, judge,
pacing up and down. The kind of behavior you only see on a train usually.
Yeah.
In those really satisfying videos I watch on Reddit where someone makes a nuisance of themselves and the annoying troublemaker is usually tossed out of the door of the train.
I would just put my foot out. Let him trip over it and then be like, what did you do?
So I was kind of hoping someone was going to shout this guy down, shut him up.
Yeah.
Toss his ass out. The bus driver makes a half-assed attempt.
Not yet. He lets him go on a little bit. Cause first we just have to see that this dude sucks and that there's like people on the bus, like lots of other people. And there's like a mom and her kid and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, super important before we go back to the bus. We now really need to find our place in the notes that I just made. Buffy goes to the Bronze because nothing's happening at the cemetery.
Right.
Guess who's dancing with Owen?
Cordelia.
Your angel. And she is putting the moves on him.
And they're not metaphorical moves. They are physical moves.
Yeah.
She is just she's trying to milk his triceps.
Yeah.
And she's trying to like merge into one being on the dance floor. It was
hot.
It felt grabby and needy to me in a way that was almost off-putting because he's not reciprocating. They weren't.
Yeah, I bet you'd be real off-put.
Well, I mean, I would play.
You'd be real put off
for a second. But it wasn't mutual. He's being very kind of non-committal, respectful, and she's like getting all up in him in a way that felt try hard for Cordelia.
I could see. I think she's really thrown off her game because she's not used to being
someone being preferred over her.
Exactly.
She's not used to being someone's second choice.
So she's like, I gotta put 100% of my moves.
I gotta move up in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Back on the bus with our stupid, and he's just fucking proselytizing. And now the bus driver's like, can you kindly shut the fuck up? Love him.
He's the real hero. He's the hero we deserve.
Exactly. But then somebody's in the middle of the road who Eric thought was Angel. I was like,
just for a second, we just see a figure. It's nighttime, and we see an imposing figure run out there. And for a hot second, I thought it was Angel. Didn't
you just get new glasses today?
I did get new glasses today. I haven't had a chance to dial them in yet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't say I finished the episode convinced it was Angel. I'm saying for the quick flash where we see someone run in front of the bus, I had a momentary,
okay,
who is that? Oh, it's Angel. Oh,
well,
it's not Angel. It's
the bus driver swerves to avoid not Angel.
Not Angel.
And crashes into a tree. And the bus driver gets out to be like, oh no, someone was like thrown from the bus or whatever, or the person he hit, but like he's
not
like
Angel,
pretty far. Yeah, not Angel was hit. And so he goes over and we're like, no. He gets bitten. It's a vampire, right. Obviously.
He's like, can you move?
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
the answer is yes.
And then a bunch more vamps like storm the bus and kill more people on the bus.
I don't remember a bunch more vamps. I remember that one guy bites our proselytizer.
I think there were a couple of vamps that went on
I
the bus.
don't recall that. We'll have to play. I'm going to put the scene in right here. We'll play the tape.
Okay.
And then we won't know to resolve this.
Can't wait.
But you at home will know who was right.
Flawless victory.
So back at school the next day, Buffy is talking to Xander and he is being a creep because she's trying to be like, I'm really sad. I had to go do my job, which I already didn't want to do.
Well, we forgot to mention Buffy shows up and watches them dancing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we just got involved in her gropiness. We didn't talk. Buffy sees
the
them.
gropiness.
Yeah, and she's super upset. So she's talking to Xander about it. And Xander is just making it all about himself again. Like,
he's
just
like, I read books.
I can read. Xander, if that's your bar, literacy. I mean, you gotta come at me with more than that, buddy. Jesus H.
So here comes our boy Owen, who you made such a good point in our watch along, which was, as far as he knows, Buffy completely blew him off.
Right. And now is making a really shitty excuse.
She doesn't have a clock.
Yeah. And like she lost her watch and no clock and didn't know what day it was. And he's just like, oh, face value, I'll take it. And but like we know that she can't tell him that she's the Slayer, but like it really looks like he's getting fully rejected and like not taking the hint
and
at all.
He's simping hard. He's like, hey, you want to reject me again tonight?
Yeah.
Would you like to stand me up an additional time?
So it just made me like a little concerned about like his ability to like process the room.
Yeah, he cannot read the room. He can read a book.
Yeah.
Cannot read the room.
Can't read the room. And he also felt that Cordy was a little grabby.
Yeah, it was not his thing.
Yeah.
See, I told you, she's got to read the room.
Yeah.
Most guys into
grab away.
But this
Owen,
guy, no, a little more conversation, a little less action for
Fair.
Owen.
Yeah. So they have another date tonight. They set another date. And Buffy has to run into Giles to be like, hey, no slaying tonight? Cool, great, awesome, bye. Because she doesn't want to get stuck at the cemetery.
And he's trying to figure out how he got his calculations wrong, why nothing went down last night. So he's in kind of a limbo where he can't say, I was wrong last night. I know it's going to be tonight, so you definitely can't go on a date. He doesn't really have anything for her, so she's out.
Yeah. Super quick flash, Kool-Aid mouth tells us that the anointed one is the priority. So anointed. That's who we're looking for. That's what we're doing. But we got to do a dress montage, which I know you love a montage, like an outfit montage. And I feel like they're like teasing you and not giving it to you.
Yeah, these are not good montages. This is literally she holds up to like she did in the pilot.
Yeah.
Where she's like, here's one outfit in my take. Here's another outfit. We're not getting the full, like where they play Semi-Charm Life and she comes out in 6 or 7 outfits.
Yeah, agreed.
But she's at least trying to, although these two outfits are the exact same dress, just with
different
a different
patterns.
print.
Yeah.
She's wearing.
And then she ends up wearing a third one that is also the same dress.
Yeah, they are these micro mini go-go girl dances, go-go dancer dresses that barely cover her butt.
Are so cute. But like as someone who actually I had, do you remember it was a birthday party at like Malibu something or other?
Malibu Wines, yeah.
And like I actually remember being like, oh my God, I love this dress. I love the cut of it.
As long as I stand up, I'm
good. As
good.
long as I stand up and don't move. Like it's just not. So guess what I wouldn't wear that for?
Fighting vampires where you have to kick and flip and such.
Yeah.
Which actually you got kind of angry in the watch along.
Did I?
We want to do the whole thing. We're like, you're mad at the costumer.
Yeah.
Who decided, because it doesn't feel like Buffy, who knows at any time she could be tapped into a Rumble Royal with some a Royal Rumble Royal?
Rumble
Royal with cheese. No, with a Royal Rumble with a bunch of vamps.
Yeah.
She would think she would want some leg protection, at the very least, some vagina protection.
Yeah, so it just feels titillating for the sake of it, and I don't buy it. I
think they figured teenage girls are going to tune in for the romance. Teenage boys are going to tune in for the upskirts.
Yeah.
And if it didn't track for either one of us.
Yeah. So Xander is also just being so fucking creepy. Like won't even turn, like doesn't even want to like turn around while she changes, and then like watches her in the mirror.
There's a mirror of him, like a jewelry box, and he's trying to
like
like
he's
catch.
just like he literally heard me be like, hey, let's cut Xander some slack, and was like 180. I'm gonna be the creepiest creep.
The kid needs side boob like he needs oxygen.
Yeah, goddamn. So oh, so I know I think something
make that print bigger for you, maybe.
It's I don't know what's going on with me. I'm feeling a little off my game today. So apologies. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. That's what I was looking for. The horrible quote that Xander says where she's like, this color lipstick or this color lipstick. And he basically is like, oh, the red, so that he can think about kissing you and kiss you and then tell everyone at school how easy you are and ruin your reputation. Like it was just so fucking gross.
Yeah.
And I remember having those thoughts and experiences in high school where like you would or would not do something based on like how you were going
to be perceived,
whether or not you were going to be perceived as a slut or a prude. Right. Both were bad. We are solidly in the late 90s where a woman can't do anything right. She's either a slut or a prude. And both are really, really bad. You should kill yourself. Yeah. So it just really fucking pissed me off. But Buffy takes it in stride. Like that would have absolutely like done me in at her age, where I just would have been like, oh my God, am I already a slut or am I not slutty enough? Like it just would have, but Buffy's just like, fuck off, bye.
Plus nobody at the school likes Buffy anyway. So what is she really worried about?
Yeah. Then the doorbell rings and it's Giles.
Womp womp.
Yeah. And he's like, the 5 are coming tonight because there was a bus crash and the 5 are going to rise from that. And Buffy's like, bitch, I have a date. And here he is right here.
So we're in Buffy's foyer. And we've got her incel friend, her best friend, the school librarian, and now her date. Joyce is nowhere to be found.
She's at the gallery.
Late
nights at the
polishing the big dick statues.
Yeah. And so they kind of like
Grand Central Station in her foyer right
100%. Now. Yeah. And so Xander and Willow like pull Owen away to be like, let's let them talk about her overdue library books.
Yeah, they have to do Giles has this whole ruse where he's like, oh, those books are overdue. Like, and Owen is like, well, this guy really loves his job. Like he's really all about the library books.
Yeah. Like, he's a dummy. He's just not
picking anything up.
He's not picking anything up. There are 100 toothpicks on the ground and he's not picking up one of them. So let's go to the bronze. And this lead singer, you will meet them both later. I feel like she was the love child between Drusilla and Michelle Branch. So Owen is talking to Buffy. They're having like a little chat off in a cute little cafe corner. And they decide to go dance. And I had the same thought that I have any fucking time that a dance scene is filmed in any show or movie, is I just feel so bad for the actors. It is so awkward and uncomfortable to film dancing scenes because there's no music playing.
You could not hear the dialogue if there was.
And like everybody is dancing to a different song in their head. It's just
room full of extras who are afraid to make a sound, and they're not comfortable.
And you can't make a sound. You still have to kind of look like you're talking, but you're like pretending to talk with another person. Like it's so awkward. It's so uncomfortable, and that's all I can think when I watch these scenes.
And it's always weird because they're going to add in post. Oh, they're going to add some music. They're going to add a little crowd noise. And so you have to be talking like you're talking over all that stuff.
Yeah.
But on set, it's bone quiet.
Yeah.
Is that a
bone quiet?
Like bone dry?
Bones are quiet.
Yeah. Bones don't make a lot of noise unless they're
clacking them together. Yeah. So Owen is also like, so they're dancing and Cordy comes in. My God. All I'm going to say is Buffy better thank her lucky stars because Cordy did not come to play with that outfit and that hair.
Yeah. The crimped hair. She looked amazing.
Yeah.
She's absolutely
And crimped
stunning.
hair is not like, oh, anyone can pull off crimped hair.
But Cordelia can.
And so she goes up to her and says, oh, Owen, look at you here alone. And I was like, is this bitch a drag queen? Like, is Cordelia Chase a drag queen?
I think we decided a long time ago
yeah,
she is.
She's incredible. She gets rejected, But she doesn't even take the rejection. She just says, when you're ready for the big leagues, let me know. And I was like, wow.
And Buffy has a pretty good line too, where she's like, actually, we're alone. And in order for us to continue with that, you have to go somewhere that's away.
Yeah.
Which is such a fun line.
Yeah. But I just love that she like takes it in stride and she's just like, your rejection of me reflects upon you, not me.
Yes.
And I just love
she rejects
that for her.
being rejected.
Exactly.
It's not, again, it's a very drag queen thing. It's not part of her fantasy.
Yeah, totally. What other people think about me is none of my business. Giles is trying to handle some shit on his own. So basically, here's what he's going to do. He's like, all right, Buffy's on a date and I need to figure out if these 5 that died in this bus crash are something to be worried about.
And before he leaves, we missed one of the most iconic lines in the entire show, and we've already gotten it in episode 5 of the first season, which is, if the apocalypse happens, beat me.
If the apocalypse comes, beat me.
Such a great line.
Did you ever have a pager?
I did.
I didn't.
Because I was a doctor drug dealer in high school.
A doctor drug dealer?
That's the only people who had pagers that needed a pager was doctors and
what
drug
drugs
dealers.
were you dealing?
I did neither. I was a dog walker. But
so you were a doctor?
No, I was a dog walker and I had a pager.
Oh.
This is before cell phones were super prevalent.
So you had to like find a payphone?
I think I had a cell phone, but the boss at my dog walking company didn't want to pay. Like he didn't want to use his minutes and he didn't want me to have to use my minutes on cell phone calls. So I could just call in to check the pages.
Stupid.
Very complicated system.
Anyway.
I don't know whoever thought this was a great way to get in touch with people.
Yeah. Giles, I bet, wishes he had a cell phone because he gets out of the car at the morgue funeral home, which I think is down the street from us. We're going to look into that. And he's accosted by 3 vampirinos.
I think it's just
2 vampirinos, and he holds out a cross. And he makes it inside and ends up like barricading himself into like the morgue area, like where the bodies are and where the little advent calendar of bodies is.
Calendar of bodies.
Yeah, that's where he is.
Day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
So he's putting stuff in front of the door, and then bah! Xander and Willow are at the window,
and there's bars,
and they're like, "Can you get out?" We're like, "No, he can't get through metal bars.
He's not exactly carrying any extra lbs, but he's not fitting through window bars. So they have to leave to go fetch Buffy to come back and save him before the vamps can push over the file cabinet he's got holding the door back. Yeah.
So Willow and Xander go to the bronze, and everyone has to be so awkward, like saying that they're dating and that they're going to go have a fun night out at the cemetery morgue place, and Buffy has to be like, yeah, that sounds fun, and Owen's like, can I come?
Before they get there though, Buffy and Owen's date ain't going great. He's got this weird observation where he's like, it's like you're 2 different people. Sometimes you're here and sometimes, and it's like she's literally acting the same the entire episode. There's not any real duality happening. She's occasionally distracted by her pager just to make sure Giles isn't going to fuck up her date.
Yeah.
But this observation comes out of nowhere, and I don't think it really applies. It's not like if Vicky Vale said this to Batman,
right?
Well, sometimes it's like you're a different person. We would go, he's literally 2 different people.
Buffy is literally trying to only be one person. Like that's that she would like to just be a girl.
Right. And she's the same Buffy when she's slaying as she is when she's bored at school.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Also, a little bit of Owen competition comes in too. And this is who Cordy now sets her sights on. Angel is here, and Cordy's like, okay, fuck Owen. I'm going to go for this hunka burning love. Nope. He also is into Buffy.
And Cordy's ego cannot handle it.
It's a tough day for Cordy. This is a bad day for her, and I don't think she has many. No. I don't think she's accustomed to a bad day.
She's not used to losing this many times. She's not used to collecting this many L's.
Yeah. I also am appreciative of whatever acting classes David Boreanaz took between since episode 1 and 2.
He's completely not bad anymore. Like his acting is no longer distracting, which I think is a good place to be for the show.
Yeah. So Xander and Willow are like, this is where they're like, hey, let's want to go to this fun morgue cemetery. And Owen's like, I do.
Because he's a creepy crawler who likes
a creepy crawler.
Likes gothic macabre poetry. But he and Angel definitely like kind of size each other up. So it's like, and Angel's got a funny line where he's like, how do you guys know each other? And Angel's like, from work. Which is like that line from Thor Ragnarok where Thor gets put in the arena and he realizes he has to fight the Hulk. And he's like, he's a friend from work.
Oh, I do love that part in that movie. So, I laughed very hard at that part in that movie. But so Buffy has to reject Owen again and be cryptic and weird about it. But she's like, I need to make it clear that like my weirdness has nothing to do with him. So she plants a smoocheruno on him and then bops out of there. So the three of them go to Forest Lawn, which I'm sure is where they are.
Literally like a 2-minute drive from where we live. Yeah. It's one of Ketryn's favorite places to go hiking.
It's so great.
Michael Jackson is buried there.
Yeah.
Assuming this is where it is, but it certainly looks like it. We'll confirm that.
But Owen followed them and he's like, are we going to see a dead body? He's so excited.
He's getting worse by the second.
Yeah. He
shows up as this kind of hunky intellectual who isn't like other guys. And it's like, now he's not like other guys.
Now he just feels like he's just not all there.
Right.
And, or sheltered, but like in the worst kind of way, like just not of this world and not in like a Buffy kind of way.
But also like she had to bail on the date. She kissed you, but she's clearly making her decision known. I have to leave. Date over. Mm-hmm. So you to show up, you to stalk
I didn't even think about that.
And then show up when she's already said, hey, the kiss means we can continue this down the road.
But I have something else to. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's a fucking violation.
That is creepier than I'm even. Yeah, you're right. So Buffy Buffy is like, okay, please just stay with Xander and Willow though. I'm going to go check for guards. And so she goes into the morgue, sees that it's destroyed because Giles was, trying to barricade the door and everything.
It's empty.
She opens one of the advent calendar doors. Bloop. There's Giles laying on a dead body.
I wonder how long he was in there.
30 hours. Also, I don't know that you can open those from the inside. So he was probably just like fingers crossed.
I don't think it's airtight, so he probably could breathe. They just needed.
How do you know it's not airtight?
I didn't say I know. I said I don't.
Also,
believe.
It probably is airtight.
So
it's got like
stink.
And it's got that like that kind of refrigerator. It is for sure airtight. Yeah.
So he's gonna pass out like Cherry on that episode of Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah. That was such a specific PSA.
It's a very special Punky
If you
Brewster.
Find an abandoned fridge,
don't get in. No hide and seek.
Yeah. If you find an abandoned body advent calendar, here's hoping your Slayer that you watch opens the door.
I don't think this one was abandoned. I think this one was very much still in use.
That's fair. Yeah. So back in the observation room where Willow, Xander, and Owen are, Buffy.
Is that? What are they observing?
Well, I'm going to tell you in 1 second.
No, but I'm like, why is it an observation? It's just
Buffy swept the room and said, no vampires in here. Didn't realize that one wall was a curtain that had a window that they could observe.
But what was that? They look at the body without being near the body. Like, what is that for? It looks like a police interrogation where you would watch someone behind like a one-way glass. What purpose does that serve in a funeral home is my question.
Signing off on the proofs of the makeup that they do before the open casket.
What?
Does this look good?
You need a window to do that? You can't just look in the open casket?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I never thought, while we were watching the episode, I never thought, what is this? Are you watching them do an autopsy?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because it seemed like a very fancy room. It had wainscoting, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
It had
but then the
lamps and sconces on the wall.
But
we never turned our lamp or our thing on here.
Oh.
There we go.
So Owen opens the window and there's a dead body in there. And he's like, are they supposed to move? And I was like, are you an idiot? Obviously, dead bodies aren't supposed to move, you dummy.
I thought this guy was into books.
Yeah. Yeah. He hasn't read anything about death. So the thing moves.
He's read Emily Dickinson. She's clearly written about death.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe he's a poser. Maybe he never ever
read it.
Dickinson.
I bet.
He's like, oh, this sounds mysterious and moody and gives me a personality.
But he like actually doesn't know. That could be.
Yeah. Dr. Seuss guy.
So, while this is happening, we're kind of going back and forth, and Buffy and Giles are like looking in each of the advent calendars to be like, where are the 5? Where are the 5? Because they're looking for these 5 that the anointed is going to rise from. But they're in the wrong place because this fucking guy rises. He's the dead body in the observation room.
And he's the proselytizer who was on the bus.
He's the super annoying proselytizer.
Who is
so ironic.
Insane.
Yeah, so ironic now that he's
he is
damned.
Risen.
Yeah.
So he gets up and he's like, I can feel him. And he's talking about the Lord.
Ready, I'm going to do it. I'm going to headbutt the glass. Doink! Pork and beans.
Yeah, so first he's quoting Bible verses.
And then he's talking about pork and beans.
He goes from Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, going, and you will know my name is the Lord, to the guy from Something About Mary carrying on about Franks and Beans.
Yeah.
like that.
What does that mean? Why is he saying those words?
Did he get a concussion when he headbutted the glass?
I don't know, but it's so weird. And it's definitely something that at the time we were watching it on TV, we weren't watching with captions. So that probably just went over everyone's head. But now we watch things with captions, and it is definitively him saying pork and beans. So weird. So he's coming after them. They're all trapped inside and surrounded. Buffy's there too. So everybody's there in the little morgue room now.
Where Giles had been
hiding. And Owen comes in and gets a good hit in.
Yeah, he gives the guy a whack in the back with like a cafeteria tray.
Yeah.
And then the guy turns on him, kind of pumps him against the wall. And
Giles gets knocked out. Buffy gets knocked out. Owen gets knocked out.
But none of them last very long.
Yeah.
I was knocked out longer when I was playing softball and ran into my left fielder.
Oh, yeah. Into his femur.
Into his chest.
Dylan?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought you hit his femur.
No, my head collided with his chest and it put me out.
Oh, wow.
And I was out longer than any of these people are out. I don't know how getting knocked out works in a show where you can just go out for like a 3 Mississippi and then back up.
Well, Giles is knocked out yet again. I'm really concerned about
Giles has head trauma.
And getting worse by the day.
And it's going to start manifesting as like chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
I know.
Like it's going to start affecting his cognitive function.
It's really bad. I'm really concerned.
He's like that in Not Another Teen Movie where they're like the guy, if he gets one more concussion, he's gonna die.
Yes.
Like it's that's where Giles is. We're counting the concussions until he dies.
That's 100%. Yeah. So fight. Yay. Important to note, Owen is knocked out, so he doesn't see Buffy being Buffy. And this is also where I was like, she would never fucking wear this dress. She would never fucking wear this dress.
Because she's flipping about. She's got to do kicks.
It's just like beeve shots everywhere.
And the camera misses it. But when you're drawing attention to it, when this isn't what the scene's about, and all I can think is, how many times did they have to take that to keep the stunt woman from flashing her
And how
crotch?
many times did Sarah Michelle Gellar, I guarantee you, probably say like, can we do a different dress? And go, no, we got to keep going. Like, there's just no way.
There's even a bit at the end of this scene. Well, I guess we'll get there when we get there. But before Owen gets knocked out, the Franks and Beans guy tries to bite him. And then that's when he shoves him against the wall and knocks him out.
Yeah.
So as Giles falls to the ground, he hits a button on the wall that lights up the
incinerator.
The incinerator where they put the bodies in for cremation.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, that he hits it. And so Buffy does a whoop, 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 some move, and he falls down on the body tray,
the gurney,
and she just shoots him into the fire.
And close him in there like a pizza.
Real easy, like it was quite satisfying.
It was satisfying, but it happened way too quick. This guy was built up to be a thing, and she beats him in a good 12 seconds of pseudo martial arts.
Well, maybe he wasn't as important as he or we thought he was.
I'm not gonna fault the show for a little bit of misdirection. So Owen comes to,
and he's weirded out,
but he says, "See, that guy tried to bite me. What a sissy!" And I'm just like,
yeah.
Just
why are we doing
casual,
this? Homophobia. Yeah, it's lame. But we definitely get the sense that Owen is like, that was a little too much for me.
He was like, I want to go to Ben and Jerry's, but not with you.
Yeah, like, and he also just, I mean, he's also concussed. Like, he just seems unwell. So
Right.
Xander and Willow walk him home.
So what I was gonna say is, there's this scene we were talking about, just how uncomfortable this tiny dress is.
Yeah.
She does like a squats down in front of him to talk to him. The camera is behind her, but there's no way that actor didn't get a face full of beads.
There's no way. Yeah.
And it's just, again, if we're thinking about that instead of sucked into the story, like, put her in a pair of jeans wouldn't have hurt anything.
Yeah, or
but it
just a dress that's a little bit longer
dress. Yeah, maxi dress, as they call it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was irritating.
Just seems impractical. Because one of the things you noticed in the Buffy movie was that
she dresses practically.
As the story went along and she got more seriously into her slaying, she dressed in both clothes that were comfortable and functional, and that provided her with like ease of motion and were good to fight in.
Correct.
Less fashionable.
I'm also going to say, like, I know that the counter argument is like, well, Buffy is interested in fashion. She does like expressing herself through clothes, and she is sort of rebelling against this idea that like all I am is a slayer. So like, I have no problem with Buffy wanting to like wear some kind of impractical stuff. I don't even need her to be like in fucking athleisure wear all the time. But Buffy is also modest. Like she would not be the type of person that would be lackadaisical about exposing herself. Like that's not who she is.
Cordelia is dressed to the nines at every turn. Her butt is never hanging out of anything.
Yeah.
She's never accidentally flashing anybody. She looks stunning in every outfit.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's tight jeans. Sometimes it's a long dress. There's no chance that we're going to see anything Cordelia doesn't want to show us.
And again, I'm not trying to be funny here. I don't have a ton
a little bit to be funny.
I don't have a ton of modesty about like my nudity. Like that's not, I'm not a particular, like it doesn't.
She used to win beer pong in college, or so I've been told, by just stripping down to the buff to distract her opponents.
But I just played naked and I won every time. So like, that's not my issue. I'm not saying like women should be buttoned up and blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying like, let's be consistent with the character choices we've made. And also just practical. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that that's what she would wear, knowing at any moment she could get, what did I say, tapped into a Rumble Royale.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back at school, Buffy just is positive that she blew it with Owen. But here comes Owen anyway. And it doesn't appear that she did blow it. And she's so happy. And she's like, oh my God, you want to see me again? He does. But it's so that they can get into more mischief.
He's like, oh, can we go start a bar fight at 3 a.m. or go to a bad neighborhood?
He's chasing that dragon.
Yeah, she's now become a fetish to him.
Yeah. And that really breaks Buffy's heart. And so she's like, can we just be friends? But she said it in the way that's like, we're never going to speak again.
Right.
Like, we're not going to be, we're not going to be friends. We're not going to be friends.
Right.
And she's super bummed. Giles sees it. Giles has a moment of like empathy where he's like, I get it. This fucking sucks. Like the Ripper in me knows that like this is a bummer situation. And he actually opens up. We get a little Giles lore where we learn that his dad was a watcher and his grandmother was a watcher. And he always knew that he was going to be a watcher, but did have a period of time where he rebelled against it because he wanted to be a fighter pilot. And there was Ripper. That was Ripper. And so
he knows about destiny and having to sacrifice your personal life.
Yeah. So I think that was cool of him to open himself up in that way, as opposed to just being like,
rules are rules.
Rules are rules. To be like, no, when I say rules are rules, I'm telling you that like I actually get what you're feeling, and I'm telling you that this is what we have to do.
Yeah.
You know? I love that. So
and then we get the final button on the show.
Yeah. Buffy and Giles are like, great, we killed the anointed one. Let's head down to Kool-Aid Mouth. We didn't kill the anointed one.
It's the little kid that was on the bus.
As we say on KK Sam, it was a creepy crap bag.
This kid was the creepiest of crap bags.
Yeah.
He also wants to be a fighter pilot, apparently.
Why?
Because he's got a little toy plane when we first meet him. He's like, I went on a plane.
That's right. He does.
But yeah, so that's our cliffhanger. So I feel like ultimately I've shat on this show for not giving us enough misdirection.
But
So
that
here
was
we get some misdirection, but overall I thought the episode was just kind of mad. I thought the climax fight was a little underwhelming. I wasn't super into the weird stalker Owen,
because I think it was
character.
about work-life balance.
Right.
It wasn't about the big bad of the episode.
Mhm.
It was about work-life balance.
It was a monster of the week that was kind of underwhelming. We didn't actually get a monster of the week. We got a lot of anticipation of this anointed one, but it wound up being a nothing.
A little kid. Yeah.
But yeah,
so that's
move the story along and all that. So, but yeah, just first one I haven't like really liked.
Okay, that's fair. Do you want to do superlatives?
Yeah, let's have a meeting of the yearbook committee.
Okay, call them out and I'll tell you what I got.
Who you got for most likely?
Most likely to die and win a Darwin Award. Owen.
Owen, nice. I said because he got so kind of creepy bonered about the idea of the danger and the fighting and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I think this goth nerd is going to be most likely to become Renfield to one of the show's marquee vampires.
Oh.
She's gonna chase that dragon.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get it through the Slayer. He's gonna get it through being a servant of one of the vampires.
That checks out. The Guillermo to somebody's Nandor.
Yes. Who do you have for best dressed?
Best dress. Cordy's whole situation at the bronze with the crimped hair and the tied was great.
Frankly, she could, any episode she's in, she could win.
Yeah.
So it almost feels unfair. So I think I'm going out of my way to not pick her sometimes.
Yeah.
Although I think Buffy looked amazing in her blue tank top with the high-waisted black pants.
You really loved that.
Incredible.
Yeah, he was really into that.
She could have fought vamps in that outfit.
Agreed.
But she also looked stylish and sexy, like the whole thing. So yeah, I just don't know. Who you got for worst dressed?
Buffy's totally impractical dress.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I went a little weird with it. When Cordy comes in with a crimp, she's got a friend with her who's just like in a dumb pale yellow dress.
And it's a shirt. And do you know what that shirt was? I almost called it out, but I didn't think you would know what they were.
What's that?
Popcorn shirts. They were teeny tiny. The shirt looked like this big,
but
it stretched and was a shirt and had this kind of like popcorn ceiling pattern almost. And that was the shirt she was wearing.
The reason I didn't like it is because I thought Cordy is supposed to be this alpha, this boss bitch, but it feels like she's always hanging out with these girls that are wearing like dollar store fashion. Like how bad would it be if she walked in as Regina George with two equally hot henchmen flanking her? So not a fan.
He didn't approve. What's next?
Oh, then we've got best line.
Best line. I mean, this is so iconic. Like I feel like I had to pick it. If the apocalypse comes, beat me.
I felt like there was a chance you were going to pick that.
Yeah.
So I picked another one that I thought was pretty iconic. When her first vamp fight, the guy with the ring, she introduces herself by saying, "I'm Buffy, your history."
Oh, I like that. I missed that.
Who do you got for worst line?
Oh, Xander's whole thing about like, so he can kiss you and tell everyone that you're easy and ruin your reputation, whatever the fuck that nonsense was. I hated it.
My worst line was pork and beans.
Yeah.
But then I got a dishonorable mention as well. He tried to bite me. What a sissy.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out the casual homophobia. That shows up.
I love it.
Did you have a best move?
I thought that satisfying little shoot him into the incinerator was
really fun.
I liked it.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's our episode.
Yeah.
We are all wrapped up here. If you enjoy this, please leave a comment. Please please subscribe. It helps us get out to more people.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a blast doing this. We want to invite as many people as we can to the party. I'm going to challenge you, do one better. Send this to a friend of yours that likes Buffy.
I'm going to do you one better than his one better. Send it to 3 friends that like Buffy.
I'm going to do you one less good than her. Go make 2 more friends and send it to all 3 of your friends. No, seriously though, we're committed to doing this for the long haul. And it's just going to help us reach more people and keep our enthusiasm up so that we keep bringing this to you. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Major Slayage. And on that, you can get the audio version of the show if you want to listen to it in a podcast app. You also get access to our watch-alongs where you can watch us live react to the episodes as we watch them before we record the episode.
That's it.
She's got another show that I produced called Kim and Ket Stay Alive Maybe. They are on all the things at KK Sam Podcast. Listen every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
My other spouse and I host that show.
Yes, Kim, who's going to be on the show next week, and she tried to survive horror movies. And then this show on social media is at Major Slayage Pod on all the things. We're here on YouTube every Monday until we finish this show and Angel, which I
haven't signed on to Angel yet.
We've crunched the numbers, and we're going to do this for like 5 years. So
I haven't signed on to Angel yet.
So join us for that. Yeah, and I think that's all I've got for now. Kim Burns joining us next week for The Pack.
Yep.
And until then,
dust you later. Obviously, Willow and Xander come up and they're like, hey, we saw those zebras fucking. Willow compared it to the Heimlich with stripes.
I don't like it.
I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it.
The question is, were they fucking to staying alive? Oh, wait, that's not the Heimlich.
No,
that's CPR.
Oh, God.
Imagine if you're choking and somebody is rhythmically Heimliching you.
While singing
They're
that
like,
song.
I can't breathe. And you're like, but I got to stay on beat, dog.
This is already my favorite episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Kim, you're hired.